we have the following helicopter blade that is rotating, as you can see. Let's not say a helicopter blade. So let's say we have, we have some towels right over here, and we have a string, and we're rotating this these towels, or this, for example, bar of towels. I'm not very sure of the name, and we're rotating them in a circle, and this is your arm right over here. And we are required to realize a key terms for SAT physics success. So what are these terms? Well, the first term here is period. Now, I don't mean period in the sense of a dot. Period is the amount of seconds it takes to make one complete cycle. And so, for example, I'm using this really fast. And so this bar of towels right here is rotating. And so let's say it took 2 seconds for it to make one complete cycle and reach its same position from where it started. And so since it took 2 seconds, the period of this rotation is 2 seconds, meaning it takes 2 seconds to complete a complete cycle. Okay, so we have something else, and another question that is very important. Now we have frequency, and in frequency there is another question. In 1 second, how many cycles did this object do? And so in order to answer that, you bring the period and you reciprocate it. So you have 1/2. Okay, because frequency is the reciprocal of period. That's the easy way. But we don't want the easy way. We want to understand it. So this takes 2 seconds to finish a complete cycle. Okay? So in 1 second, it finished half a cycle. So the frequency is 1/2. Now, physics can't be without units. There has to be a form of units somewhere. In the period, the unit is seconds. But in the frequency, unit is in hertz. So hopefully you understand what's the meaning of period and what's the meaning of frequency. So let's look at, for example, how you can solve questions that require you to know the period. Well, if you're asked what the period is, you bring the time the object was cycling divided by the number of cycles. And the frequency, you bring the reciprocal. So you can bring the reciprocal right over here. You bring number of cycles divided by the time of cycling. Let's look at a problem here in order to solve this and understand this more intuitively. We have a ball. Okay, let's say this is a ball, and it's rotating 20 revolutions. Okay, that's like the equivalent of cycles in 10 seconds. And we need to know the period and frequency. So the period is, time of cycling. Well, it took 10 seconds. And number of cycles was 20. That's going to be 1/2 seconds. What is the frequency? Well, the frequency is 1/t. And we have to denote the period by a capital T. And the frequency is a small f. So 1/t is going to be 2 hertz. So hopefully that makes sense. Thank you very much for watching this video. And we're going to continue with our next video about velocity, tangential velocity, and tangential accelerations and their directions. Stay tuned.